in the film industry, there's potential to be cavalier about the value of creating content that allows for young people and young teens to really understand the value of being in a collective community of people that really ought to care about each other and ought to have a certain value system that respects life and respects each other and the dignity of, kindness and reaching a hand out to a brother. All of those things I think are important. I got into making movies and working on sets kind of in a little bit of backwards, and most people do that. I, at a very young age, always loved storytelling and writing stories, and I drew comics, and I loved photography. I was an avid backpacker, and I did that through Boy Scouts and throughout, and would always bring my camera. So cinema allowed me to marry kind of the two loves I had, which was storytelling and then the visual aspects of storytelling that come along with photography. So I was working at an ad agency after graduating from Appalachian State University, and I realized what my passion really was to work in the industry, and it captured my interest. And I remember one day just saying, that's it, I'm changing fields, and it was very early in my career, probably only 2 years into it. But I worked on a movie called The Abyss. It was shooting down in Gaffney, North Carolina, and I was working out of Charlotte, North Carolina at the time. So I went down there and I said, I will take any job you have to offer. I just want to see what this is all about. And that was it. I had a hook in my mouth, and I just fell in love with working in a team like you do, and the lifestyle of their work ethic, and just what comes out when you sit in a quiet theater and watch your work up on the screen. So the film industry, I think when it's in its healthiest state, would be an industry that would reflect an opportunity for people to have a collective, communal escape from what's going on in the world around them, and just to have that opportunity for a collective social engagement. But what's unique about it is it doesn't require you to actually have to physically engage the person next to you. So at the end of the movie, if the movie's done well, it will provide that opportunity to have conversation about maybe the director's point of view or the screenwriter's perspective on the storytelling, or the producer's intention of the movie, and how he brought or she brought the people together to make it. And the story itself is compelling, and it does that. Well, the film industry is very unhealthy when the box office is dead. So it's like any other industry. I think a lot of weight is put on the creation of visual and audible content as it shapes culture, and I think it has great potential to shape culture. But I think that one thing that's part of the educational process for the viewer as well as for the filmmaker is to recognize what you are actually doing and putting out in the world in your worldview, whether you like it or not, and to be conscious of that and be responsible in that area. They design and create content that drives traffic to that movie in order to make the next movie. And so when it's least healthy, I think it's driving traffic in a way I think that's unproductive for us to engage in conversation and to care about one another, and or it's excessively violent, and it dehumanizes what it's like to be a human. At the end of the day, in the film industry, you attract what you're like. And I think that may be true in other industries, but I'm just speaking of the film industry. I think if you're kind, you attract people who want to work with you. And so if you're a producer or a director on a set and creating a certain atmosphere, you will naturally see the culture of that process of making a movie shift toward that strong person of leadership. I learned a valuable lesson from Gail Ann Hurd. She said, I will not spend $1 that won't go up on the screen somehow. But what she included was taking care of people and caring about them, because that does show up on the screen. We don't think it does, but at the end of the day, how you treat your person next to you will end up on the screen. And I think if you're someone of faith, how you demonstrate your faith in a significant way consistently when it's really, really hard, when you're really pushing through a difficult moment, how you reflect your attitude and your place and your kindness, and you still push forward to, I think, a more of a faith Christian worldview point of view, I think will reflect extremely well in your opportunity to say, have someone say, wow, you're different. What's different about you? And you know, that's what we try to emulate and tell our students, you have this great opportunity, and it will show up when it's the hardest day you've ever had. And that's the day you can't let that down. That's the day you got to push forward in a way that separates you from the pack.